that that Huskar has no competitive application. Yeah, Slark changed his name to Why Is My Team So Trash? I'm not even going to comment on that one, though. So once this replay is for sure working, then I will start talking because I don't feel like repeating everything twice again. But yeah, for people who doubt that this will work in competitive, this is Mouz Sports, as you all know them as Team Tinker. Very solid team. This is nobody. This is not a nobody. So, sorry about my subscription alerts are not on because my subscription alerts are not on. Silver King, thank you for the subscription, man. But they're not on because this is going on YouTube. So yeah, this was for my last match with Summer's Rift. RIP, but whatever. Ignore these bans. This was a remake. So I'm going to quickly talk about the draft. This kind of sucks that I can't show the draft as it actually happened. But I'm going to tell you basically what happened. So we're going to ignore all the bans. Their first round was Zeus Gyro. Right off the bat, I'm thinking that's a pretty good Huskar game. These were our first round picks right here as well. But so the first round, it's kind of like you know immediately if you're not, because usually heroes like Queen of Pain are immediate no-nos, like you just don't pick him ever. But like I think Queen of Pain was banned, Lena was banned. I'm 100% sure they were banned because we did pick Huskar fourth. I am 100% sure we picked Huskar fourth because I remember they needed a support. Their last pick was Dazzle, but the reason we picked Huskar fourth is we had, so they only have one pick after us. We were, second pick we were first pick, which makes us second pick in the later rounds. So they picked Clockwork after picking Lion, Zeus, and Gyro. All magic damage. They do have stuns, but they're all magic damage. And then put the icing on the cake, they picked Clockwork. The best time to pick Huskar if you are on a team is when they have a solo offlane melee hero like Clockwork, Tidehunter, Timbersaw. Those are the first ones that come to mind. Spearbreaker can be solo, but he's usually dual lane. But if they have something like that, that is the best time to pick Huskar. So that, on top of those three, was picking Huskar fourth. We knew they needed a support, so my team, thank God, listened to me this time, and it doesn't show here because this is a remake, but we had to reload the game. But I said pick Huskar. Lena and Quap were already banned. They needed a support, and the only support in the pool that countered me was Ancient Apparition. So we banned Ancient Apparition fifth. Obviously, you can't see that, but we picked Huskar, banned Ancient Apparition, and then it's set up for a beautiful Huskar game. So let's show how beautiful of a Huskar game can apply in competitive. Now, the real deal about Huskar is, let's just be straight. It doesn't, having defensive supports on his team is nice. Having stuff like Venge to swap him out, having stuff like Dazzle to shallow grave him, that's a bonus. But if you want a good Huskar game, it actually doesn't matter who your team is. Your team doesn't matter. It's all about the other team. Is it good now? They're trying it. It's a remake. So the reason why I went this build is because I actually thought that they would solo the Clockwork bottom and then aggro with Dazzle, Lion, Gyro versus me. I don't want to screw myself over, but my competitive season's over for the next 2 or 3 months until TI, so doesn't really matter if I give away Huskar and how to play against him in competitive. But yeah, he's really weak early on, as I've stressed multiple times, so I really thought they would aggro tri-lane me because they would certainly win that. So I built accordingly, and I'm willing to build. This was the same build as I built last game. I skipped a branch. It's really that's just up to you. This game in particular, I wasn't sure, so I kind of went in between. I was like, I want a little bit quicker boots if I don't have an aggro tri-lane, but if it is an aggro tri-lane, I want the other build. If you buy boots and it's an aggro tri, I'm kind of just fucked, right? There's really not much else to put about it. The boots, without being able to be aggressive, really cost you. So in this particular game, the laning stage is very similar. There's really not much to show from the laning stage. I get basically a free farm lane, but this is what happens when a pro player is in the game, like Bulba. I will, as you see, put aggressive posturing. This is something I want to emphasize, though. This is the one thing I wanted people to learn from this game here, from the laning stage. This is something that people don't think about at low levels. Every time I would coach people This was something they clearly didn't understand because they were never doing it. So there's a lot of reasons why I'm going to do this, and I'm going to explain it here. So my lane got denied such that the range creep on my end died. Now they have 2 range creeps, and it's pushing towards my tower, and I only have 1 range creep. So right here, you'll see, I immediately prioritize attacking their range creep with flaming spears. I'm pushing the lane. So there's like 5 reasons why you do this, but I'm going to name the main ones that are easy to explain. If the lane goes into your tower as a hero like Huskar, you will tank a lot of unnecessary harass, and this build that I have for you is highly based on like efficiency. So you will tank more harass than you should otherwise, and you will run out of regen. If the creep waves start to have to go into your tower, you're a low health or low armor hero that's ranged, so you can't buy a stout. You have no way to tank creeps, so first off, there's that. Also, lasting in your tower is a real fucking drag when you have 48 damage. Secondly, these are the 2 most important things, is that if you are Huskar, like I said, it is very important for you to posture aggressively, right? Like I said, for you to play aggressively, harass with flaming spears. And you can't do this if your creep wave is dying. Okay, I don't know what else to say. Say I posture aggressively right here, and I start attacking him, and they have 2 range creeps, and my creep wave is now dying super fast, even if I'm not aggroing, and my creep wave dies, I've now traded, like, say I get 3 right clicks off. I walk back into my lane, and there's now, like, 5 enemy creeps here, none of my enemy creeps, and I start tanking all these creeps. That's, like, the best way I can explain it. So if if the creep wave is pushing too hard towards you, you'll actually not be able to be aggressive. As weird as that sounds, he will still not get any farm, meaning like he won't be able to get last hits, because if he walks up, you'll be able to right click him right here. But like it's the difference between zoning him out of XP range and not. Like that's the difference. So I highly emphasize that. That is the biggest thing you learn from laning this game. We're gonna go back to me. That is something that applies on all heroes, but particularly heroes like Huskar that can't tank. Right there, I missed the last hit because I was focused on trying to help him. No excuses, just what happens. So now, this is what you want. You don't want a lane pushing, and you don't want a lane pulling back. You want the lane perfectly equilibrium. This is the kind of stuff that pro players do, though. The lane is back here for like 10 seconds, and he pulls our creep wave. So he fucks with us a little bit, but in the end, it's not that big of a deal. You know, just clean up the last hits as much as possible for people who don't know mechanics. We look to be aggressive on him because he's pulling the creeps. But if neutral creeps kill their creeps, you get 0 XP. It's not like getting a deny. You actually get 0. Vision fucked me there on that last hit. But yeah, so we pull the lane back in. It's going to push towards us again, so I start auto-attacking it as much as possible. Like right here. I know those one little auto-attacks may not seem like much, but it does make a difference. Immediately try to play aggressive, but see how there's creeps there and now I can't be aggressive? That's just like a small version of what would happen. Like, and it snowballs quickly. If you leave those range creeps up, it will go wrong very quickly. Like right here, like I'm trying to make it so it doesn't pull back too fast. See how I'm tanking harass? But at this point I have a lot of tangos. I haven't been really eating harass, but if you're in a lane that's already rough, that's like just going to make it worse. See how I prioritize auto-attacking their range creep right there? That's like that's the lane equilibrium dynamic that it comes with when you have like a support, you know. I have missed a decent amount of last hits. That's something you're like, I'm really off or on with Huskar. It's just something you kind of have to fight through as a hero with low base damage, and his attack animation is decent and all, but it's actually pretty bad in my opinion. So this is the laning stage. So what you're going to quickly see here, I'm gonna quickly look at my notes. Oh. No, I'm not going to worry about it. It's not something to do with Huskar. But okay, yeah. So something I'm going to emphasize that's coming into this game ahead of time, like I'm, you know, spoiler alert. We start this game at a major deficit. Not in the lanes, but as you see here, it's 2-0, and it quickly starts snowballing. It is now 3-0 in kills. To spoiler alert, it eventually is 9-0. I've already said about Huskar, like, if there's nobody in your lane, a lot of heroes you'll want to push the tower if you have, like, a support to pull for you. But I've already emphasized he's weak early on. He's very weak. Not 1v1, but if he gets ganked, he's weak. So pushing towers leaves you vulnerable. So I highly try to keep as much as, like, there's a catapult, so it's pushing the lane, but I try to keep the lane as stable as possible and just free farm it. The goal is to get to armlet safely. That is all you need to do. That is the purpose of the lane, is to get to armlet. So right here is something you can do. A lot of people don't do, but, you know, the lane's pushing in. Can't really help that. I don't have a support, so I now pull this big camp into my creep wave here. I do that. This is a common rotation I do on stream. I walk up and start A-clicking these creeps, or like start killing these creeps as much as possible, such that I can go contest the clockwork as soon as possible if he does decide to start like trying to get the XP over here. Like, I'm sure he knows it's been pulled, but like if I wasn't doing this and I retreated to my tower and say clockwork tried to just start taking all that CS, I couldn't contest him. And if he tried to fuck with Coddle, I couldn't contest him. So right here, immediately start denying the creep. Demon kind of fucked me there by pushing the creep camp. Duck Feeman. So back to the lane as usual. Go ahead and fast forward a bit here. We are now down 3-0. As I've already said, I think, I'm not sure, we will be down 9-0. This is about an average timing for armlet if I don't start with boots. About 7-8 minutes with a decent lane, no kills. Immediately, start using my flaming spears on auto attack. Start doing creep camps. Like, you'll notice right here, I went from full health to 0 just doing one camp. And that's gonna happen. So you don't try to regen yourself anymore. Like, that's not your priority anymore. I was worried that they were ganking me, so I sat back. I'm not farming down to no health with armlet because I am concerned about being ganked. This is something I'm much more worried about in competitive. And they also have a Zeus, and I do not have max passive. So like right now I have 69% magic resistance. Kappa. That was not planned. But the point being is you will see it here. We're down 5-0. But I'm almost considering in this kind of game only going 2-point spears to have max passive at 8 because 8 is a very long level in experience, and it's only because they have a Zeus. You will see in the near future I die to Zeus. I know they have no Zeus ultimate, so I'm not concerned about dying at low, or farming at low health here. Yeah, same concept. The thing about Huskar and competitive, and the application of Huskar and competitive, it's kind of like Drow. The minute you treat his armlet like 6, I already talked about this, like in terms of treating it like 6 for pushing towers and shit, but the whole idea is that you can rotate out of lane and your supports can take lane. So it's like really nice for getting your supports levels. So like you don't need to be in lane anymore. So now I'm just going to start farming the jungle really fast while my Witch Doctor takes XP top. And you can still be ready to help your team. So like right here, I'm fine with using Flaming Spears. I have an armlet. But yeah, really fast farming on this hero. I decided to go treads. I think I end up dying here to Zeus ultimate. I end up healing myself because I'm concerned about Zeus ult. I believe it is right here that I die to Zeus ult. I'm only doing all this stuff that I'm doing right now because of Zeus ult. And I'm really scared. And I literally was looking mid and died to Zeus ult right there. I wasn't armlet toggling because I was looking mid and I died to Zeus ult. So that's kind of the difference between level 3 passive and level 4 passive. So the way I checked what my magic resistance was is if you're dead on Huskar, it treats it as like your 0 health. So you have all your stacks, right? Like when you're dead, you can check this. Why is it not letting me check it? I have 87 magic resist, yeah. And if I have magic or level 4 passive, it's 98 or 99. Either way, the difference is astronomical at no health. Stuff like Zeus ulti will no longer kill you. Stuff like Lion Finger will never kill you. So that's why I highly prioritize maxing this over Flaming Spears, even though I get the 3 points in it. This game I might have even like gone back and looked and thought maybe I should get 2 points, because I wouldn't have died there. Because of level 8, because level 8 is such a long level. So yeah, back to normal things. We are down 9-0, and we are down about 7.5k gold and 5k XP. And you're about to see why having a good Huskar game is pretty strong. So same idea, I'm not concerned about dying to Zeus ulti anymore. The only way you can die to Zeus ulti and stuff like that when you have level 4 passive is if you actually toggle the second that they ult. So like if they don't ult the second you toggle, your innate regen from armlet will be enough to keep you alive. But it has to be the split second, and it has happened to me. See, like right there, I mean, I didn't die. Like, I was no health. So we are now down 11-1. Buy my lifesteal up. Just continue farming. We're looking to defend our tower top. Rotate through the jungle. This is something I wouldn't be concerned about defending nearly as much if I wasn't uncompetitive. I would just be farming jungle. In competitive, I'm worried much more about the team than in pubs. In pubs, I'm mostly looking out for myself. Because you can't rely on your team, really. Sometimes your team will pull through, but if you rely on your team, you will not overall gain MMR or do better. So back to the jungle I go. Always low health. Utilizing Armlet to farm. Same skill build. Same build, item-wise. The only thing that really varies is in my build ever is what order I build the Armlet components in, and if I build Helm or Treads first. Same thing here, just getting my farm up. It's really important, even in a game where we're down, or to just focus on farm and get your items. Same thing here, we're looking to defend the tower as a team, though. We've grouped up. We can now push their tier 1, I believe. Actually, we believe we see no one. Okay, I believe we talked about the fact that we're trying to farm up our items and then take Roche. So we're now smoking. I get my helm. That's really crucial towards Roche. That extra armor and 20 damage makes it go a lot faster, and I got a wolf, which is really nice. So I'm leaving my treads on in because I'm ready to heal myself if we get into an engagement here. Go into the Roche pit. Same concept here. As I talked about, if you toggle correctly, you'll never die, but you can also have a creep. See this? You just toggle when he walks away. So if they came and contested us here, it would be okay. Like, they don't know about it, but if they contested us, we are behind. But this is what happens with Huskar. It is now 12 minutes in. We have a Roche. We are down 12-1, okay? We are down 12-1. And trust me, just knowing Huskar, I was like, okay, guys, let's go push mid. Like, we have an Aegis. Doesn't matter, we're down 12-1. I believe we have a mech on Shadow Fiend. Yep. Time to push. Down 12-1. So this is the kind of stuff with Huskar where if you get the Aegis and they contest you, this is what happens. Alright? Straight up. So I heal myself while I'm in vision, 100%. Change tower aggro off of me, at least I should. I don't, I guess. I'm bad. I should have definitely changed it off. Get a good toggle in. Kill black from full to 0. Heal myself. I'm taking tower this entire time. I am weaved. Black dies to my flaming spears in the base. I kill 2. I die under tower after that whole time. Look how tanky I am. This is 17 minutes in. Got a triple kill. Killing spree. Take tower. All we lost was Aegis and a Witch Doctor. And that's what happens if they contest you. I'm telling you right now. That's what happens. Like, this isn't a fluke. I can't show you guys a billion games for the sake of the guide. So suddenly, 2k gold. Same build. Not concerned about disables, I'm just concerned about right clicks. They have no heavy right clickers. If I have enough armor, I simply won't die as long as I get my heal off. The crucial part there is as long as I get my heal off. So now my team's farming our side of the map while I'm farming theirs. I'm playing aggressively. I am the tanky hero. I am the survivable hero. I take their farm. Same idea. Let the creeps die from your flaming spears. That extra second and a half every time adds up. Went the Hyperstone first just for the farming speed, honestly. Because we already just took the major fight. I wasn't concerned about us fighting. But this is the same thing. If you remember what I did last game with the tower mid. They weren't ready to defend, right? So here I am. Pushing their tower. They're not ready for you to do this. They're just not ready. They're top. They have Dazzle mid. They have 2 top. They're not ready to 5-man TP. They can't 5-man TP. They're not set up. So I got my heal off. And now I'm getting ganked by a Gyro. Who does all magic damage. Look at what the heal does. Look how important that is. And I just don't die. Pretty easy. Make sure I got my heal off again, in case they were all trying to kill me, and I knew I was getting stunned. And now we're up for a push as a team that has no glyph. Wherever we go. It doesn't even have to be that tower. Like, right now, we didn't even go to their tower. So the reason why we didn't do the tower is because we have an ancient stack. But that's something that's really important as Huskar. Is like, if they're not set up, you can take almost the entire tower while tanking the tower. As long as you have your heal on. So here I heal myself so I can tank the Ancients without having to actually kite them. That's something you can also do with ancient stacks. But yeah, pretty fast ancient stack. Like, you can't deny how fast this hero can farm with the right build, the right mindset. A lot of people just don't understand. It's not like a straightforward farming speed like most other heroes. So now we take that tower, no glyph. It's hard to calculate that kind of stuff, but I'm sure they didn't contest this because they didn't have glyph. But, I mean, same idea. Going into their base. Taking tower, I don't really care. Keep my creep wave alive. I believe Coddle has an Ags now? Yeah, he does. Coddle Ags is a pretty big deal. But yeah, so I'm taking the tower. We're taking their tier 2. We're down 13 to 5. We're not winning in the slightest. We're down 5k. Force their reactions back. As you can see, they're all TPing. We don't know this, though. So instead of worrying about the creep wave, I walk up on the high ground, start hitting the tower. Dragon Fist sits back. He's actually too far forward, but doesn't matter. He's only my teammate for 4 days. We force out a glyph. That's really important. We are now back. Going with the next creep wave, but then we decide to back up because our lanes are pushing in. Farm the map. We are in no rush. Even if we are behind, and you may say they have better late game. I have a full Soul Cuirass done at 22 minutes. It's pretty solid. It's pushing out lanes, so we're in no rush. This is the biggest thing, though. Okay, I'm not gonna make excuses, but I am. Basically, is what I'm gonna say to this. I just want to push out lanes, and Demon recalls me into this fight that I didn't want to be a part of. Could I have just not gone in? Yes. But I thought it was a decent fight, and there's 5 on me, and this is what happens as Huskar. If you're getting 5-man focused, even if they have no right-click damage, you will die. I'm just perma-stunned, and I died. But look how long it took them to kill me. And my point is as long as you're not a dumbass, and it's important to improve and point out mistakes. I went into 5-man, got perma-stunned, focused by everybody, and I died. And you saw how long it took. And that's the kind of stupid fights that you have to avoid taking as Huskar. I actually didn't want to take that fight, but I did willingly jump in, so I'll take part of the blame. I figured if he recalled me, there wouldn't be 5 people there. So I am dead. No fear. We are only down 16 to 5, but it is a good Huskar game, people. So back to farming. We are in no rush. I emphasize that, but I guess we were in a rush. I took the movement speed creep because it was there. Take tower. Willing to take it. If I'm concerned about them coming, I'm not going to be willing to tank it because if they initiate on me while I'm tanking it, that is not ideal. I will be talking more about this later. Set up ourselves for the next Roche. I hang out around the Roche pit. I am now farming this area because we're setting up for Roche. We're waiting for it. We have Beastmaster Hawk. We know it's up now. It just got up. Take Roche. I don't know why I didn't stop fast forwarding there. I was trying to. But this is what I mean. You can't contest Huskar and Roche, man. You just can't. So they know we're rushing. They've been timing it. They're a professional team. They're good. I got a fortunate DD rune. I'm finishing Roche. I'm prioritizing that. It's so low. I'm going to make sure I finish it. We end up killing 2 of them, losing a Witch Doctor, TPing out on top of me right here. That's not ideal. I probably could have chased the other way, but that's one of those, like, you know, hindsight 2020s. I did kill the lion by going that way. I am not Dazzle ultied, but this is for some reason a glitch in the replay, or in replays in general. Here we go, back down to bottom. Rinse and repeat. Took a Roche, same thing. I am going BKB this game because of the Silver Edge and the fact that they have a lion. They just have a lot of disable, they have a blade mail. In general, I just don't want to. I want to be. I'm basically invincible with a BKB this game. I have enough armor. As is. I mean, I have, without Dazzle ulting me, I have like 36 armor with Mech and Ring of Aquila added on. So here I am, Huskar, frontline taking it. This is how you approach pushes. You just hit the tower while your team sits behind you. They initiate on you eventually because they think it's a good idea. I was trying to heal, but was fucking up my tread switch, I think. I am willing to go in now. I Flaming Spear him to make sure he dies after the grave is over. back off. They keep trying to kill me. I am a machine. They have still focused everything on me. You have to remember, Silver Edge is an expensive item that he has to come up on top of you and hit you with a Silver Edge. So if you're 5-manning, that's a lot easier said than done. So we took a good fight. They bought back. We back up. We're going to get our items up. I believe Dragon Fist almost has a BKB. Okay, he just got his BKB as well. I don't want his perspective. Got a wolf. In most cases, I'd go back to base, but I do have a coddle. So, yeah, we're in no major rush with this Aegis. Like I said, no rush. We were behind in this game, so like in the game where we were snowballing, that would have been the end of the game. They would have had no chance to hold the high ground. Because it would have happened earlier. They wouldn't have had like a Silver Edge, Gyro. They just wouldn't have the items they need to defend there. And that's really the only difference. Like, it just delays the timing when you're losing. So right here, I'm just a man. I don't even care that my team's all the way back here. I just know they can't really kill me. I know they have a Silver Edge, but they'd have to blow a lot on me, and I have an Aegis. If I didn't have an Aegis, I wouldn't be postured this aggressively. Just a pause. I am not actually BKB'd. Do not know why that is happening. So, positioning the wolf so it doesn't die to nukes. Continue our base push. Heal myself again. They got the Silver Edge off. I almost die in a team comp. I mean, this is really what it comes down to. In team competitive play, if they didn't have a Silver Edge, I wouldn't have been nearly as concerned. But since they have a Silver Edge, I'm going to make sure I'm sitting at a decent enough health to not just be killed instantly. So, you know, I got Silver Edged. I get nuked. I get 4-staffed out, and boom, I'm safe. They try to Zeus ulti. It's not enough. They just blew everything on me, trying to kill me there. I had Aegis. Blew everything on me. Key thing to note, BKB purges Silver Edge, as well as Huskar ultimate. I will be talking about Huskar's ultimate in detail at the end of this game. So we take first base. We're down 18-9 in kills, guys. We're down 18-9. Take that. Take 2 sets of racks. First BKB, I actually BKB'd there. Got Aegis is down. So in the duration of our second Aegis, which was delayed, just like I talked about, because we were losing, we took 2 sets of racks. So the last fight's coming top. Gonna go and fast forward. We don't even need to wait for Aegis. I have a full Satanic. Managed to get a pick off, got recalled. Nice mobility around the map with Coddle. It's really good synergy with Huskar. Blinding Light keeps him alive. Mana, mobility. I don't know why I didn't stop fast forwarding like I tried. So here's what happens. Silver Edge is an all-in gamble, alright? It's a 5k gold item on most heroes, which is not ideal. When Huskar is like a full AC comparatively, like to benefit his team, they go on me and blow everything here. It's a gamble. They have to kill me in the 4 seconds that it's on. So they managed to get the disable off. I am down to 0 health. I BKB right in time. And now they have nothing. That was perfect scenario for them. So same thing, make sure he dies to Flaming Spears when he's Shallow Graved. Really good counter to Dazzle, actually. So here's another way to counter Silver Edge. So you're gonna watch Black Silver Edge me here. This is pretty tough. I mean, just focus here. Make sure you catch how good of an item Silver Edge is, Kappa. Oh god, he got the Silver Edge off. Not the Silver Edge. Oh, I dunked him. Okay, it's off. Phew. Close call. Okay, we're good. And GG. So the last thing I'm going to talk about with Huskar after this replay, this just shows if it's a good Huskar game, you win in the draft. You just win if you play it properly. The most important thing to show as Huskar, or like to talk about as Huskar, is on top of everything I've already mentioned. So we're going to highlight the things. The skill build. Max passive after 3 points in spear, 1 point in heal at 4. Leave ultimate at level 1 until you've maxed everything else. Your magic resistance is 87% at no health with level 3 passive, and it is 99% at level 4 passive, which is really important. Drastic percentage difference. And then your ultimate, so let's talk about his ultimate. A lot of people don't understand. You are not invulnerable during your ultimate, but you are spell immune. So treat it like your ultimate is like a 1 second long BKB, and that everything that applies to a BKB applies to your ultimate. What I mean by that is, so if you're stunned by Crystal Maiden, like with the stun with her frostbite, and you pop a BKB, you immediately purge it, right? Like you get where you're no longer stunned by Crystal Maiden. Same thing with Huskar. Same thing with Treant Protector ultimate. Same thing with let's see, Silver Edge, uh, Blinding Light by Coddle, Mischance Laser by Tinker. Uh, Whatever you can think of that is purged by BKB is purged by his ultimate. So that's something you have to keep in mind. And like, so say they only have one thing that's purgeable on their team, and like one game I played a pub game against, their only stun was a Crystal Maiden. So like I just waited till I waited to use my ultimate until she stunned. Like I just waited, and then the minute she stunned, I couldn't do it and couldn't or they couldn't stun me, and I was just unkillable. So the item choice wise on Huskar, I almost always go Treads, Armlet Helm, AC. The times where it is different, I will go Halberd if they have like the single right clicker, as I talked about with something like Juggernaut or Troll Warlord or Ursa. But after that, your item choices really come down to this. The question about BKB is answered simply put. If I am stunned for 10 seconds, can I die? And on top of that, do they have anything that stops me from right-clicking? I don't care about silences. I don't care about disables. The only silence that is an issue is Night Stalker Mischance because it casts on you and then he just ignores you. It is such a long duration, it's basically permanently up. Night Stalker is the one exception because you have to build a BKB for that silence alone. Disruptor, stuff like that. Like if they're not stopping you from attacking or can't stop you from ulting, meaning like, even though Crystal Maiden Frostbite stops you from attacking, it doesn't stop you from ulting, so you can just ulti out of it, then there's no reason to buy a BKB. Your point is to be the frontline tank, and your priority should just be like aura items and satanic. Like if you're able to attack at all times and you have an AC satanic, there ain't shit that's gonna kill you. In the late game, stuff like Tinker for Permasheep, stuff like Halberd builders, yeah, you can build BKB. But the thing about it is, if they have a Halberd, you can just wait until they Halberd you and then ultimate, and then you are no longer Halberded. So that's something that you have to keep in mind when itemizing Huskar. I'm going to repeat myself slightly here that I did towards the beginning of the guide. But items that specifically you never build on Huskar ever. Okay, let's talk about those. So you never build. We're talking about big items. Like I'm just gonna go through even the ones that wouldn't seem obvious. All right, like you might like that people be like, oh, you're like that would seem obvious that you never build. Never build drums. Never build medallion or solar crest. Vlad's is debatable. I still haven't experimented with that, but I still wouldn't go with it. Guardian Greaves are highly situational. I think that Treads AC just offers much more damage and are better. Never build Refresher. Ags is only a 5th or 6th item late game. Only. Ever. I repeat, ever. Orchid, never. Rod of Atos, never. Yule Scepter, never. Dagon, never. I was dicking around in my games on Light Bull Lane. I built a Dagon. It's really fun. If you want to have some fun, Dagon plus Ag Scepter is hilarious. But yeah, that's about all. Necrobook, never. Veil, I've debated with. I still need to experiment with it, but I don't think it's as good as my current build because it offers no right-click damage to you, and I think you already do enough magic. Force Staff, the only time I will ever build a Force Staff is when I'm against Ancient Apparition because it's the only way you can reliably dodge his ultimate. And if I'm against Ancient Apparition, I already want to commit suicide. So, otherwise, never build that item. Never build Glimmer Cape, don't have the mana. Never build Crystallis, you don't need the damage. You are a low damage healer every freaking game. Never. If you want to dick around, but otherwise never. Never. Ghost Scepter, where's Ghost Scepter? Sometimes I'll upgrade it into an 8th Blade late game, but Ghost Scepter is highly situational, but it's like one of those where it's usually 99% of the time very bad, but the other 1% is very good. Against heroes like Juggernaut, where they have immediate burst damage, against Ursa, it's very good, because Ursa will like go on you with his ultimate, and then like for the duration of his ultimate, you Ghost Scepter. Heroes like that like have like one set of physical burst, it's really good against, for 2 reasons. Because of the fact that they have one set of physical burst, and then you're willing to man up on them, on top of the fact that Ghost Scepter, I don't know if you guys, for how many people know this, but Ghost Scepter is removed by BKB, so also it is removed by Huskar ultimate. So you can actually, even though it's a 4-second duration and you're a hero that completely relies on right-clicking, you can actually control when the duration ends by ulting somebody. So like you can Ghost Scepter, say an Ursa goes on you, like half his duration ultimate, and you Ghost Scepter for the last 2 seconds of it, and then you want to go on him, then you can like you popped your Ghost Scepter and you have 2 seconds left on your Ghost, but then you ult. The 40% magic damage is buffed, works as if you take 2% magic damage, that 40% now makes it 2.8%. It doesn't make it like 42%. So like if you're wondering about that, Ghost Scepter, you're still basically immune to magic damage. You're basically immune to all damage except for Pure. Never built Crimson Guard, never built Manta, never built Bloodstone. I think AC is better than Shiva's. Lincoln's isn't really an item unless they have like a Doom, something that you can block with BKB plus Lincoln's. Heart, never. The most often built wrong item on Huskar. You don't want full health. Why would you want the regen? You're a hero that's completely based on being low health, and being low health is all percentage based, so why would you want more health? Satanic's just better. Mjolnir, late game, like 5th or 6th item versus PL is the only time you'll build it, maybe against a Naga. Illusion heroes, basically. Scotty, never. Sanjin Yasha, never. Halberd's just better. You have to think of items that are about the same cost or same components. Halberd's just better than Sanjin Yasha. I built Sanjin Yasha when I'm dicking around, but that's about it. Deso, never. Diffusal, never. If they aren't getting right-click by you, you can just ignore them and hit the tower. Who cares about Ghost Scepters? Your ultimate also does a shit ton of damage when they Ghost Scepter. Mask of Madness, never. Helm is just better. Butterfly, never. I'd rather have a Halberd for the evasion. The strength synergizes with your first ability because your heal is based on your strength. Overall, those are all of the item builds for Huskar. I've talked about very specific scenarios with very specific heroes. I believe I have hit all of my points. The one thing I'm going to reemphasize again is that BKB is only when they can stop you from attacking. Like, that's the only time you build it. If they can't stop you from attacking for longer than a couple seconds, eventually you will be able to attack them even if you are silenced. And if you have like AC Satanic, you'll just live. And they focus so much on you that you'll have won the fight. That's all I can really say about it. It's always armor. Like, armor is so important on that hero. It makes his last, and evasion. Armor and evasion is what makes the last like 20% of your health so valuable and works so effectively. I will never build Daedalus on this hero ever. I saw Era build it. It made me disgusted. The only damage item I will build on this hero is Monkey King Bar, and that is for butterflies, PAs, and that will be like a 5th or 6th item. Heroes like PA, do not rush MKB ever. Please, I beg you. I get flamed all the time. Like people ask me all the time, and I want to flame them so bad. If you have a PA on the enemy team, you go my exact same build, and like if it comes to that late game, you get like a 6th item BKB or MKB, but you simply have, so let's see, there's a PA, right? You have Treads, Armlet, Helm, AC, and Halberd, say by 30 minutes. Even earlier, say by 20 minutes, you have like half of you have the plate mail, Treads, Armlet, and a Helm. You have like 30 armor. She ain't gonna do shit, all right? Like, she'll crit you and hit you for like 100, all right? Like, that's all. I've done that on stream enough. You ult her, it move and slows her through BKB. She can't touch you. So you basically rely on the rest of your team to kill her, and your ultimate does enough damage, and you'll eventually kill her, and you honestly can ignore her, and you just kill towers. Never build MKB. Daedalus, or like first item ever. Like, never build it before like 4th or 5th item. Daedalus is just unnecessary. It just makes no sense to ever build. I would rather have so many other items. Okay, so you're 6 slotted. The game with, okay, if the game has gone late enough, you're gonna lose with Huskar. Like, if it's gone past 40 to 50 minutes, you're probably gonna lose. But in the late game scenarios, like those are all the games I just showed you. Every game with Huskar that's a win will end before 40 minutes, like an easy win. The other ones really should be flukes. But like, my ideal items are Armlet, Boots, so that's 2, AC, Satanic, MKB if needed, something like Mjolnir if needed, something like even a Shiva's at that point I'd rather have. Something like Abyssal Blade is actually a considerable item in the late game. There's really a lot, like Ghost Scepter with ETH Blade. Halberd is usually in my item kit. Like, that's usually my 5th item almost always, because it's like there's almost always one single hero that does damage. There's just like once you get to that point, the sixth item, it's gonna be like I'd rather you just get an MKB over Daedalus, even if they don't even have evasion yet. I'd just rather you get an MKB. Like MKB is your reliable sixth item. It's just better. Like you don't hit very hard as that hero. Like you'll hit for 200. All of your damage comes from max attack speed plus flaming spears. Um, it's just, in my opinion, it's much better to have the guaranteed miss. And even Axe Scepter as like a sixth item. I said fifth or sixth item. Axe Scepter is really good. It makes your ultimate 4-second cooldown 65% health. That's really good if you're scaling really hard. I almost always say if you're ahead, Axe Scepter is really good. What do you think of Blade Mail and Lotus Orb? Never. Lotus Orb is for your teammates to build. Blade Mail is if you're behind. You already have an armlet, already have a helm, and you're behind. I could understand Blade Mail because at that point all you are is soaking up damage. But in any ideal game of Huskar, like remotely ideal, and when I say behind, I'm talking like you will never live through a fight behind. Like it's a shitty Huskar game. They have a lot of physical damage. They're just going to kill you and you're never going to live. So you're just going to buy a Blade Mail. But otherwise, Lotus Orb is good for your teammates, but it's not worth for him. It's a 4K gold item that actually gives the hero nothing but 10 armor. Like I know it gives you the active, but you have to think about what like the active I don't count because somebody else can buy it for you, right? But yeah, that's basically my Huskar guide. Silver Edge I do not believe is very good on Huskar. I'd rather have a Blink. I did not mention Blink. My opinion on Blink Huskar is the fact that if you have, you'll feel it. There are games where you'll get kited, and the only answer I have to Blink is that it should never be before AC Satanic, or at least AC Helm. Like that whole build progression I gave you, like you should have at least AC Helm or AC Halberd before you have a Blink. It's not okay to Blink on their team and initiate. Like a lot of the times you don't even have to go to them, they have to come to you. You want it to be like a late game, like I need to catch up with people kind of item, like not going to let them get away and just kite me. That's what the Blink is for. It's not for initiation. Huskar is not an initiator. Yeah, that is my build. Oh, what is with Midas? You'll never buy a Midas, ever. I already said that the hero's weak. The hero farm like really early on he's weak until he gets an armlet. He farms really fast with an armlet. If you give yourself a Midas, that just makes your window of vulnerability even higher. And there's really just like goddamn. I should mention this, I guess. Just I don't know how else to explain it. There's never a right game to build Midas. I'd much rather have a 5-minute armlet than a 5-minute Midas on this hero. Like I could farm jungle twice as fast, maybe even 3 times as fast with an armlet than I can with a Midas. The best heroes on his team are really irrelevant, but the best combos on his team are mech carriers in the off lane or mid lane. Dazzle is particularly special with him. I actually think Keeper of the Light's really good. Venge is particularly good. Pretty much anything defensive. You don't really need offensive shit with Huskar. He'll tank all the... Like, you just need him to help you tank. Stuff that survives on its own as well. Abaddon is really good if you can get away with it. Stuff that wins its lanes, like Broodmother in the off lane, is particularly really good. Omni Knight's pretty decent, but he's like really weak and competitive. Stuff like Chen to push in the early games is really good. In general, it's just stuff that helps him 5-man, helps him tank up. Stuff that builds Medallion. Visage is even good. Stuff that builds like Solar Crest, giving it to the Huskar is really important. That's why Venge and Dazzle are really good. Overall, like your team comp doesn't matter. It's all about like in the end, it's only a bonus what your team comp is. It doesn't matter. Your team comp's a bonus.